then I'll be able to answer you back. I'll be able to answer you back. Feel free. Seeing we have not yet started, but someone is asking. Okay, let me unmute you, and then you should ask questions concerning the lesson, or anything that is not clear. Is what we are going to be looking at under this lesson dedicated to stems. Let me see the time. Okay, it is exactly 2, so we can start. Previously, we had ended with the roots of course, and we did some few questions, of which some of you are able to give me answers. So this is what we looked at last time, and so for today, I want us, maybe let me begin with this starter question here. If we can only do this question and then we begin. And then just to remind ourselves of what we did last time. And the question says that figure 2 is a transverse section of a dicotyledonous root. Figure 2 is a transverse section of a dicotyledonous root. It is there. It has part W, part X, part Y, and then part Z. And the question is easy. It says, which one of the following labeled, which one of the following of the parts labeled is responsible for the conduction of mineral salts and water? Which one of the parts labeled is responsible for the conduction of mineral salts and water? So you can raise your hand, or you can even type your answer in this chat box. That is Victoria Mwagara. Yes, Victoria. Victoria, we are listening to you. I've not got you, Victoria. I've not heard. But in case your network is not so good and you can't say out well, please type your answer in the chat box. I'll be able to answer you. Yes, Victoria, what were you saying? Okay, Victoria's network is not good. Victoria's network is not good. Let me ask Wide to say the answer.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
I've just joined. Which question?
You mean you can't see this question down, number 2?
Hey. I've seen it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Answer.
Then Lona. Yes, Lona.
The answer is A.
Okay, thank you. Lona says A. A meaning you have chosen W. Okay. Let me see if there is anyone. Okay, let me check the answers in the chat box. Some people have given the answers. Let me see. Mathiang says it is A. Victoria M says Y. Please, when you're giving answer for such questions, you could be given letters, but the options are either A, B, C, or D. You always choose from what they have given, you know, these other letters. And then Mathiang is 1A. Gaba says is D. D. DZ, which is this, the middle part, okay. few more people. There is this galaxy. Adela.
Sir, my answer will be A.
Yes. Your answer is A.
Yes.
So we have very many people choosing A. Having very many people choosing A. Then galaxy J.
D.
Yes.
A.
Okay, you're also saying A. Okay. Let me read the last people here. Jaden is saying D. Trevor is saying D. Okay, I think let me answer this and say that we can. Okay, let me first get some more people. Namaz is Scovia. Namaz. When I ask you to unmute, you unmute very fast and then we continue. You don't just be there and then wait to speak. Okay, let me. There's Richard Official. Yes, Richard.
Sir, the answer is D.
Richard says the answer is D. Thank you, Richard. Okay, thank you, Richard. Then Sally Henry. Sally Henry.
So I go with option D.
Okay, also Sally goes with D. Let me choose the last person. Okay, the is Talemo Ivan is the last person, and then we do. Yes, Talemo.
Teacher, the answer is D.
Okay, thank you, Talemo. Okay, so those are enough. Let me first see some answers here in the chat box. They are saying, please access me to record. No one has refused you to record. Emmanuel D. Adela says A. Miss Ghana says D. Grace says B. Okay. Now let me go through it. Remember, we did this transverse section of the dicot. Okay. And I said that A is an epidermis. A was the epidermis.
Yes.
Epidermis. And the epidermis is basically to protect, for protection. Epi means outer, dermis means skin. So the outer skin, have you ever seen water being transported by the outer skin? This is the outer layer of the root. Imagine you uproot a plant. Is water transported by that outer layer? Is water transported by that outer layer? No. Okay, because the question wants the part which is responsible for conduction of mineral salts and water. So then X, I called it cortex. Now the cortex is majorly a lot of parenchyma cells which are packed tissues, so it can be a storage part. Excuse me. And then we're having Y. Y, I called it the phloem. The phloem is majorly for transporting or translocating food within the root, okay, from the leaves to the root. And then Z, X-shaped Z, was the xylem. It was the xylem. So, and the xylem, I told you, is the one which is in charge of conducting water, conducting or translocating food. Cortex, it is made up of many parenchyma cells and is majorly for storage of food.
That's good.
And even packing. and filling up space. And then epidermis, it is the outer cover which protects the inner parts of the root. Okay, I think that is clear. Okay, yeah. So I think everyone,
Work.
okay, sorry for that. So when you find the chair, you can easily tell that it is a chair because it has maybe 4 stands, it has a seat where you can sit. So what makes a stem a stem? Now you can see that these are different parts of a stem. If I may first put this up, let me first put it up. So you find that you're going to have internodes and then nodes. So if you want to identify a stem, first of all, you should have that node, and as well as that node around there, and then an internode. Okay, and then so a stem is an ascending portion. Ascending means something to move upward from down as it is moving upward. So this is an ascending portion of the plant, axis that develops from the plumule of the embryo. It has the following characteristics. Now, what do I mean by characteristics? Characteristics mean traits or unique features. So characteristic is like unique. Let me write here. Characteristic means unique features. Unique features. Okay. What are those things that are unique? What are those things that are unique to a stem? Okay. I think you have muted. So what are those unique features? So number one, it bears leaves. Normally, a stem will have, like you can see, this is a leaf, this is a leaf, this is a leaf, this is a leaf. And then it has nodes. So nodes, normally where leaves grow from, that's what we call a node. So where a leaf is attached, normally there are some small swellings in between the leaf and the stem, which we call nodes. And then between one leaf to another is an internode. And then it has buds in the axils. So you can see these are the buds. This is a bud. This is a bud here. But now these ones had grown into flowers, but it's a bud here. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So it also has flowers or fruits. Okay. So now these ones can be there, or sometimes they may not be there. It is not true that all stems must bear flowers or fruits, no. But it is one character which can be present. But the major characters that are always there in stems is you should have nodes and internodes, okay? And then as well as buds. But in case leaves are there, then well and good. But it's not true that all stems must have leaves, okay? And you can see it has terminal buds located at the tip. This is the terminal bud up here. And if you have ever seen a plant, you see sometimes these pictures may not bring it out well, but now check this real plant, the picture of the real plant, if you have seen it before. So between where some leaves are and another is what we call an internode, and where leaves arise from, that's where we have the nodes. Okay, this is one node, this is another node, and you can see at the node, this is where leaves are attached, and in between you have the inter means in between. What in the, it can also mean in the middle of the node, middle, then a node, in the middle of the node. Okay, now we're going to be able to study different types of stems. Of course, there are very many ways in which stems can be grouped or can be identified. Now, some can categorize stems as erect stems. Now, erect means something which is standing upright. So erect stems can support themselves in an upright position, and they may be woody or herbaceous. What do I mean by herbaceous? These are non-woody. If you have seen those small plants without wood, especially herbs, or sometimes you've seen grass, some plants like galinsoga. Galinsoga parviflora is a kafumbe. In Luganda, it's called kafumbe. It's a plant. There are some, even tomatoes. Tomatoes are herbaceous because they don't have wood in their stem. Okay. Then we have some weak stems. Now these ones, they cannot support themselves upright, but either they are going to creep or climb on others. I think you've ever seen some stems that normally climb on other plants. Let me pick some question here. Okay. Yes, Grace.
Teacher, are area stems the same as erect stems?
Okay, thank you, Grace. I'm going to answer you. Aerial stems, are they the same as erect? Now, I'm going to make you understand these stems, and I don't want to confuse them. Aerial means it comes from air. So those stems which rise in the air, okay? That can be one kind of modification, but now such stems normally arise from the ground moving upward, okay? And we shall talk about them in some other slide here. You'll be able to identify them differently. Then let me see. Passion fruits. Yeah, passion fruits have weak stems. Then we also have underground stems. Now, underground stems, these are modified stems which remain permanently underground. Now, these ones never surface on ground. Actually, when you meet such a plant, you may never see its stem unless you have tried to dig down to see it. I've already told you we have different ways of categorizing stems. So these are some of them. We also have what we call woody stems. Now, these ones have a high content of lignin and are hard, and they are found in shrubs and trees. Now, you can see that, for example, woody stems, some of them can be erect stems. You can see that. So we can, why am I saying that? We can categorize stems in very many ways. So I don't want you to be cramming that these are the only types. I want you to understand how to categorize them. So some can be woody and they are erect. You see that? So, and some may be woody and they are not erect. It is possible. We shall see. And then the last one, we can also have what we call herbaceous stems. Now these contain no or less wood material. Iggy tomatoes, rice. These herbs are shorter than grass. Okay, sometimes they can be shorter than grass when they are mature. We mean when it is mature. Let me see. Adela is saying that are they pumpkins? Pumpkins. We are going to see where pumpkins fall, but they are going to be herbaceous. Okay, they're herbaceous. They can also fall under weak stems. They can also fall under weak stems. So these are ways, different ways you can categorize. But all these categories, you may find that some can fall in like 3 or 2 different categories. Okay. So I don't want you to say that erect stems, they are particular, this and this and this. Then weak stems, we have this and this and this. Underground stem, we have this and this. Some may fall in any of them, in any of these different categories. So these are different ways of categorizing. But sometimes also stems can be modified differently. Okay, so stems can be modified. And when we are modifying them, we are going to see, let me first pick one more question. Chris Agnes. Chris Agnes, I've unmuted you. Can you please ask?
What I was trying to say about the types of stems.
Yes.
We have erect stems, weak stems, and underground stems. Then
yes. These woody stems and herbaceous stems are just under erect stems. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chrissy Agnes. Yes, they can fall under that. I think you had. Yeah, that is true. As I've told you, some may fall under different categories. Like we are going to now look at what we call modified stems or stem modification. Now you're going to find that some of these stem modifications fall under some of the other categories that we have just looked at. Yes, Nyombi. When I ask you to unmute, you unmute very fast and then you say what the question. Okay, let's look at Yasmin Mohammed.
Excuse me, Master.
Yes.
I've just joined right now, and I'm wondering which class is this?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Master.
Okay. With biology, so I don't want anyone to get lost. We are looking at senior 2 biology. So then he's saying, Agaba is asking, what are modifications? Okay. Let me answer you, Agaba. And he's saying, sir, I see woody stems and herbaceous stems. Are they in the same category of erect stems? Okay, I'm going to answer you. Yeah, both can fall under. And erect means something which is like you've heard of the word erect, standing upright. So if a stem is standing upright, and it could be standing upright and it has wood in it, it could be upright and it doesn't have wood in it. So both can fall under the erect stems. There's no problem. Okay, those are different categories. That's why I was saying that I don't want you to cram. When we are doing these things, I don't want you to cram that this one can only fall under this. This one can only fall. These are different categories of grouping stems. Okay, that's what I want you to understand. Then Agaba was saying, what a modification. Now, modification comes from the word modify. Now, modify can mean to make different. It can mean to make something different. Okay, to make different. Okay. You know, stems have their own general structure, how they must be. That a stem should have node, it should be upright, should be like this. But there are some that are modified, like they have been in nature, they have grown to become different from the general stems. Okay, from what we usually know what stem is all about. Then Jesse is saying, teacher, are weak stems also called climbing stems? Okay, we are going to look at that under modification. Now let us first look at some modifications. Here we are now looking at some weak stems. So the first one, under weak stems, we can have twining stems, the twiners. We can have twining stems, the twiners. And these are stems that grow ascending spiral around the support. They can be long and they're usually long and slender. For example, the Dutchman's pipe, and the lianas. So this one, what you are seeing here in picture 1, if I can call it picture 1, these are lianas. If you have visited a bush, those huge bushes, if you have ever gone to a bush like Mabura forest, you can see these ones are there, these lianas. Even monkeys like swinging on them. They are kind of strong, but they normally twine around these huge tree trunks. Okay. Now, one is for, this is not for the Dutchman's pipe, no. This is for the pea. This is for the pea plant. And you can see those small insects are called, these are called aphids. These aphids like sucking sugars made inside, that are traveling inside these stems. These small black insects are called aphids. Okay. And then here are your stems. I know some of you have studied this. What I want you to know is, look at the coherence of the work and you see where one falls under the other, whether this one falls under this or it doesn't fall under that. So you have seen these are lianas, this is a pea plant, and then after looking at the twining stem, we can also look at the climbing stem. You see, now these stems grow clinging to a support. The other ones were spiraling. Spiraling means, for some of you understand Uganda, like okweto lola, like they grow when they spiral something, like a spring. Spiraling means like if this was the support, this one would grow spiraling like that, like that. That is what we mean by spiraling. Okay. But now also have climbing stems. These are stems that grow clinging to the support of other plants by means of tendrils. Tendrils, what are they? They are thin wire-like spiral branches. These are the tendrils that I'm talking about. If you can see here, Anita is saying that I was still copying. Please, Anita, you don't need to copy this work. This work has already been uploaded in Google Classroom. So you can always go to Google Classroom. The codes of your class are always shared by the admin, Mr. Chaz. So the notes are there. Then you can download the notes, and these very notes we are discussing, you can download notes, and then if you want, you can copy them. Okay. But here you need to understand and then ask the questions. You don't need to copy the questions. Sorry, the notes. So an example is in passion fruits, and or even sometimes it could be on the terminal buds. For example, this is a passion fruit plant that you can see here. For this is AG. You're saying that lianas has no slender stem. Okay, that is what according to for AGG. Lianas, please, good enough. We are in an era of making research. We have internet, so try to look out for pictures of lianas. Of course, it would make sense if I gave you the scientific name, because scientific names normally never lie. Because you may type liana like in Google, they bring you girls posing. pictures of girls, okay? But if you can try to make some research, you'll see that what I showed you was actually a liana. Okay, we can go to creeping stems. Now, the creeping stems, these are long, thin stems which grow along the surface of the ground, giving off roots at certain intervals of this. We have 4 types. You can see we have, sorry for that. So we could have stolons, if you have heard about stolons, and then we could have offsets, and then suckers, okay? I've already told you, and then runners. When we are grouping these things, I don't want you to focus and cram one thing that this is where it falls, okay? This is some kind of categorizing, whereby one may fall under another. That is what I want you to have at the back of your mind, okay? And then we could also have runners. The runner is a slender trailing stem lying flat on the ground, possessing long internodes, okay? There is one here, an example, which is Oxalis latifolia. There is a species of Oxalis which falls under the runner, okay? Nansuga is saying that I'm not clear, maybe your network, because I'm seeing that I'm actually clear. Then offset, horizontal thickened short stem. It originates from the axil of the leaf and grows flat on the ground. Normally produces many leaves above and a cluster of roots below. For example, water hyacinth and water lettuce. Now, this picture, I got the picture of the water lettuce, but the water hyacinth, you have seen it before. It's a very common thing on lakes. That water hyacinth in Uganda is called the chido. But and even these water lettuces, some people have them in their compounds. Okay, I think let me first take. Where she's saying, what is Oxalis? Oxalis is like in Uganda, why it's called Kanyebwa, something. For some of you understand Uganda, there is a certain thing which they use called Kanyebwa, and people would pick its leaves and then they chew them. Let me, Nyombi has a question. Yes, Nyombi.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please
Excuse
ask.
me.
I can hear you. Please ask.
Do some stems fall in different types of stems, like the what? Like this one of wooden stems. Do you understand me? Oh, they
Yes,
fall
I'm
in
getting
one.
you.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Okay. Thank you, Nyombi, for that question. Nyombi is asking, is it that they must always fall? This is what I've already said. Don't cram. Don't cram means like don't get it as if that is the gospel truth. Nothing that can challenge it. No, it is all understanding this kind of arrangement. Okay, so I'm telling you that some plants may fall in different categories. Okay, and the example which Nyam is asking was, I think I already talked about it. You could have an erect stem. Okay, you could have an erect stem, and then a woody and an herbaceous. A woody stem may fall under an erect stem, or a herbaceous plant which has an erect stem may fall under. It can be an herbaceous stem, but it can also fall under the erect stem. Denise.
So what is
Dennis,
the scientific name for lianas?
Okay. I'll get back to you. Okay. And then Pep is saying, I'm not hearing well. Now, when you're not hearing well, please make sure that you may first leave and then click in the link and join again. Normally, it could be a problem of your network. Stolons underground stems. We have just looked at it. They're going to be just running. Actually, some books categorize stolons as runners. If we can go back a little bit, you're going to find that the soil is going to be here, and they have their advantaged roots, but they have some small, long stems that just are on the ground. So from one plantlet, you go to another, just there, okay? And by the way, some books may categorize stolons as runners, according to some books, okay? So, and then we can go to sucker. A sucker is a creeping stem that grows obliquely upwards, okay? Directly giving rise to a leafy shoot. And the most common example is the banana sucker, okay? And as I said, if it is growing obliquely upward, that's a sucker. The most common example is the banana, and then also pineapples can be placed under suckers, as well as the sisal. Now, I put this picture to show you how it could be like obliquely growing, okay, in this way. So this one, if this was the major plant, now I got this is for a tomato, this is a tomato stem, okay, but I want you to understand how a sucker can be. If you have seen banana plantations, they normally have, okay, those leaves, and they will also have such a leaf like that. Now, normally there are some outgrowth, which can be on this side, which grow obliquely upward. Those are suckers. You can even remove them and plant them to become new plants, okay? Then, if you have understood, we have some question here. Then Geoffrey is saying, what is the meaning of lignin? Okay, I'm going to answer you. Excuse me, which class is this? Oh my God, I don't know where you got the link from. Normally the links are posted. The link which you click in is the class which you are looking at. Now, going back to Geoffrey's question, lignin. Now, plants have plant cells. Now, there's a compound. It's like a substance which is secreted in the cell walls of the cells of the plant cells, which is called lignin. Its purpose is to make them strong and hard. Okay, so that is what I mean by lignin. So the cells are normally implanted by this. Okay, you can think of lignin as some kind of sap, but it hardens after some time. You can call it in Luganda like a masanda, okay? But that masanda is normally secreted within the plant cells, and then it goes into the cell walls. And then let's see, I have not understood the before part of modification, okay? Is it senior 1 or senior 2? Now, Clemmer, depending on your coverage, because there has been a confusion, we are looking at flowering plants. If you have done flowering plants are under, they are under what we call phylum Angiospermatophyta. You can also call them flowering plants. Now, phylum Angiospermatophyta falls under kingdom Plantae. So if you have done something to do with the kingdom Plantae under the 5 kingdom system, then you know where we are now. I don't want to go back into that. Now there's this question which says, A runner is, A says, stem which bends over and roots in soil. Another one, part B says, horizontal stem above the ground, which gives roots and aerial shoots at the node. Then C says, horizontal stem beneath the ground. Beneath means under, inside. Beneath can mean inside. So horizontal stem inside the ground, which gives rise to roots, roots and aerial shoot at the nodes. Then this says short vertical stem that buds beneath the roots. Beneath means like inside. Then it says B. Then the Agaba says B also. Agaba first said D. Then Namatov says it is B. And then Miss Ghana says B, Jennifer says B. Jennifer Namukwaya, okay, Kwesiga says B. B, many people are choosing B and D. But so far we have B. B, what does B say? B says horizontal stem above the ground, which gives roots and aerial shoot at the node. Yeah. Lona says B, Mirembe says C, horizontal stem beneath. Jeffrey says B. Yes, I think we go with B. B is correct. Okay. And now, underground stems. We can also look at underground stems as another category. So these are 4 types of underground stems, namely, we shall look at 1, the rhizome, and then 2, the comb, 3, the stem tuber, and then 4, the bulb. Okay. Now, all these things, as you see them, most of them are highly examinable in the practical part. Biology has 2 papers. Paper 1, which is theory, and then paper 2, or some people do paper 3. So paper 2, which is practical. So they can bring you something, any of these underground stems, and they want you to identify them. Now the picture here, I think it is a picture of canna lily. Is it? When it is still young, as it is still growing. But we are going to understand one by one, and we are going to begin with the rhizome. A rhizome is a horizontal thick underground stem having adventitious roots. You can see we are having adventitious roots there, growing from the lower side of the nodes. If we have a node here, okay, it's a node there. Rhizomes store a lot of food for the plant. Some also act as organs for vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation means a plant that part used to grow another plant. The most common example is jinga. Jinga in Luganda is called ntangawuzi. Canna lily in Uganda is called amalanga. And this is jinga. I don't know whether you've ever seen a picture of jinga when it has its leaves as well, or you have seen some people grow jinga. Okay, but normally when you look at it, you can't see this jinga. Jinga is normally underground. So after you've dug it up, and then people dig it up and they wash it. And I think everyone has ever seen jinga, but maybe some never grown it. But you can grow it at home if you wish. You can just plant that stem. And then, as well as canna lily, if you have seen these leaves before, with these flowers, this is what we call canna lily, amalanga. And then grass, lumbugu. Some of you have seen it now. And there is also Solomon seal. Some of these, I don't know, some of you have not seen them before. Let's see. What of turmeric? Turmeric, I think it's a chinzari. We are going to see where it falls. Then is it the same as sexual reproduction? It is not the same, but it falls under sexual reproduction. Vegetative propagation falls under, because there are some other types of asexual reproduction. It is not the same, but it falls under sexual reproduction. Then, okay, just found the liana tree on Google. Okay, Quest guy saying that you just found the liana tree on Google. Try to search more about it. Okay, and then let me pick some few people here. Angel, there's this Angel here. Yes, Angel. When I ask you to unmute, you unmute very fast and then you ask your question. Okay, he doesn't
Teacher.
have it. Yes,
Teacher,
I can hear.
I was asking that the rhizomes, some rhizomes have the same roots as bulbs.
Some rhizomes have the same roots as bulbs. That is true. That is true. They have adventitious roots, both the rhizome and the buds and the bulbs. And we are yet to study about bulbs. We have not yet reached there. Thank you for that contribution, Angel. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me pick another person. There's Stephen. Yes, Stephen. When I ask you to unmute very fast and you ask, you give your contribution. Okay, let me pick Joseph. Yes, Joseph. When I ask you to unmute, you unmute very fast and you say your question. Let me pick another. Yes.
Teacher.
Yes, I can hear you. Please say your.
I've not understood that
Please.
part of horizons.
Okay, we are still on the rhizomes. And the most common example is Jinga. So we are yet to, we are still good enough. We are still on the same slide. So don't worry, you're going to understand. And then there's Kwesiga. Yes, Kwesiga.
Is speargrass also one part of the rhizomes?
Yes, that is true. Speargrass also falls under rhizomes. Okay, thank you. There are quite actually many. There's even actually in the Waukesha mock 2016. Yes, Waukesha mock 2016. They examined the speargrass, and we are supposed to organize speargrass but we don't get the whole grass plant. No, what we do, we go and we extract the stems. So they are the stems which we put on the tables of the students, and then when they ask them, for example, if the question comes and they have given speargrass, they ask you to identify the specimen. They ask you to identify the specimen. So the identity would be that it is a rhizome. You don't say that this is speargrass. Namatovu Jovia.
Teacher, do all rhizomes have adventitious roots?
Okay, thank you for that question. Do all rhizomes have adventitious roots? Yes, they're all going to be having adventitious roots. And even when you're drawing, because like I've been telling you in that year of Waukesha 2016, they had to the structure of speargrass, and the roots which normally arise from below on the nodes, they are all adventitious roots. And you can see they are the very roots which are in Jinga. They are the very roots which are going to be in Kadalili. But then before you forget, last year's UNEB, these people whose results have just come back, they brought the stems of Canalili in paper thin, I think. The Canalili rhizomes look like as if it is Jinga, but for them they are thicker and bigger than Jinga. And they had to draw to identify it. So it is true. Let me check out. Nansubuga Agatha says, do rhizomes undergo asexual or asexual? Is it asexual? If it is asexual, yes. Maybe you may not be knowing the difference between sexual and asexual. That topic is under reproduction, but some people cover it earlier. Now, sexual reproduction just involves the fusion of the male and female gametes. That is the sperm and the egg, okay? If there has not been fusion of a sperm and the egg, and then you are just using a plant part to grow a new plant, you could use a stem, you could use leaves to grow a new plant, you could use whatever, that is asexual reproduction. Teacher, a picture of spear and coach grass. Okay, I was not able to put it here, but maybe probably next time I'll be able to get you the picture of the spear as well as the coach grass. Okay, let me pick some. Yes, Irene Chosaba.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I was asking, canary and salmon seal, is it the same thing?
No. No.
Why?
Salmon seal and canary, they are not. They are different. Just like if you can ask, is Jinga the same as jackfruit? Different. They're not the same. The picture that you are seeing here is the canna lily. Okay.
Yes.
I brought this picture because this is what you can easily see to identify it. But I did not bring the picture of I did not bring the picture of the underground stem, how it looks like, but it looks like basically like you can see Jinga. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
This is how they all look like, but I did not bring the picture of its underground stem. I just brought this upper part, the leaves and these flowers for identity, because these are common flowers in people's compounds. Okay. But in case you have such a plant in your home, you can dig down. When you dig in the soil, you'll be able to see it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can see this is the picture for, I think this is speargrass. This is speargrass up here. Okay. Then Miriam says, how can you tell speargrass and coach grass apart? Maybe I will have to more pictures, which I thought it's some common grass in people's gardens. So maybe that's why I overlooked it. And then, yes, Nyombi, you have something to say?
Yes, teacher. I have a question.
Yes.
Rhizomes here. These rhizome stems.
Yes.
Rhizome stems, sorry.
Yes.
I don't hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm waiting for your question.
The
I'm
sweet
waiting for your
potatoes.
question.
The sweet potatoes.
Uh-huh.
Are they the
Yes,
examples?
yes.
They are. Yes.
No, that is not true. Sweet potatoes don't fall under rhizomes, please. Okay.
Yes. But for
Yeah, they don't.
but the sweet potatoes, you said the sweet potatoes, they grow underground, and their stems, they are down.
I gave sweet potatoes under modified roots. I did not give sweet potatoes under modified stems. We looked at sweet potatoes last week under modified roots. We are now looking at stems.
Okay.
And right now we are looking at underground stems. Okay, I think we can go now to the stem tubers. Stem tubers, this is a short, fleshy underground stem. So, okay, welcome. And swollen with large amounts of stored food. And the most common example, Irish. Now, last week, some of you are asking me about the Irish. Where does it fall? And you wanted to place the Irish under the roots. And I told you, no, when we reach the stems, we shall be able to look at the Irish. And you can see these are the Irish obumondo obuzungu. That's the Irish. And for some of you have never seen how they look like when they are growing. This is how they normally look like up as when they are still young. Okay. Of course, there are very many varieties. Some can be reddish. They could have a reddish epidermis, but some could be kind of not red, the kind of creamy. Okay. So you're going to find that they have scale leaves and axillary buds which form the eyes. Okay. And this is a two-dimension picture of how they can look like, a picture which can be drawn with pencil. Someone is asking, when are we having exams? Angel. Then Miss Gana says, is speargrass a rhizome? Yes, it is. Speargrass, not pear. Do you mean pear or spear? It is speargrass. Yes, speargrass is a rhizome. Now, time check. It is 2 minutes to the end of the lesson. So let me conclude with this stem tuber. Stem tuber is one modification of these underground stems. And you can see this is the Irish potato. It has its own particular roots, but for us, we are interested in identifying it as a stem. Abigail made saying, we have exams, that they are exams. So the admin will be communicating to you for any issue concerning exams and any other sort. Otherwise, is there any other question? Because I would like to end. Okay, since there are no questions, enjoy yourselves and have a great time.
Teacher Patrick. Teacher Patrick. Teacher Patrick, can you hear me?